for West Germany.
One love.
We need to keep a close eye on the ex-Chinese world number 4. Now lives in Huddersfield because 2/3 of the way through the second game, he appeared to have a muscle spasm in the lower part of his back, and it certainly did incapacitate him in the latter part of that game. And he's down 3-love already in this third game. Don Parker's alongside me, the English team coach. Don, you watched that incident in the second part of the second game. When he hurt his back, how much do you think it's going to affect him?
I think it could be a very serious problem for him. Of course, even though Chen Xinhua is a defensive player, he has a fantastic attack. And in fact, in the first 2 games, he's basically won because he's used that attack. When he attacks, it involves a lot of twisting of his upper body. And so far, this game, he's been reluctant to do that.
Well, Rosskopf, the world doubles champion, knows that he's got an injured opponent, but didn't capitalize it on the last game.
3-4.
Just can't seem to work the service out, can he, Don?
No, that's right. I mean, Rosskopf is renowned for his left-handed player, as we can see, with very good serves and a very strong attack on both wings. But he's having problems reading the spin, particularly on his return of serve as well. Xinhua shielding the ball there with his free arm. Rosskopf having great difficulty reading the spin.
4-5.
And certainly the Chinese player's mobility is definitely limited. Muttering away to himself.
5-all, Rosskopf.
He's fought back to 5-all in the third game.
Interesting there, that last point. Xinhua shielding the ball with his free arm. On some occasions, he actually hits underneath the ball using his wrist, gets a tremendous amount of backspin. The next time, he hits the back of the ball with no spin, and Rosskopf just failing to read it so far.
Good shot, number 5 seed in this English Open, ranked 21st in the world, 8th in Europe.
Xinhua's definitely got serious problems here. He didn't move away from the table then, he didn't twist his body when he's defending. It looks as though the injury could be very serious.
He's got great difficulty bending down.
Got it. 7-all.
A lucky net there, makes it 7-all.
7-8, Chen.
Now we'll get a good chance to see 5 serves now from Chen Xinhua.
See, they're a good example of the service with no spin. Rosskopf thought there was a little bit of backspin on, so he lifted the ball. There was no spin on the ball, so off it goes.
9-8.
Again, exactly the same service. Deception here is exceptionally good.
The point you're making about the limited mobility he's got in attack was graphically proved there, I think, Don.
That's right. He's also proving in his defence as well. He's not able to twist away from the table. There, a good example of that point. Stayed close to the table. Really, he should have dropped away another yard, turned his shoulders round, but he failed to do so.
10-all, Rosskopf.
Well, even at half pace, he's 10-all in the third game. He wins this, he's through to the final.
Here we see the service, the ball coming out underneath the arm. Very difficult for the opponent to see the point of contact. No spin, in fact, on that service. Even though he used the wrist, he hit the back of the ball and went through it.
Oh. 11-all.
close to the edge.
12-11.
Rosskopf is actually playing very intelligently now. He's moving the ball around from side to side, varying his serve, serving wide on the angles,
12-all.
forcing Xinhua to move. But a superb attack there from Xinhua with the backhand.
Oh, no. 12-13, Chen.
So Chen Xinhua trails 12-13, but leads by 2 games to love in this third game of the best of 5. Semi-final, first men's semi-final.
Oh, 12-14.
Absolutely locked into position there.
No. 12-15.
He really has got to put something into the bag here for this
13-15.
third game. 13-50. He's got to win this. He won't want this to go on another game at least. 2 points behind, 13-15. 2 serves to come.
13-16. Rosskopf.
The other problem that Xinhua's got is as the game is progressing, Rosskopf is getting better at reading the spin. Hence the rallies are getting longer.
17-14.
Terrific amount of side spinning as well as chop on that ball. Oh, what a return. Superb shot.
Tremendous reactions there from Xinhua, but Rosskopf's tactics are very clear. He's serving, good serve, but then he's following in hard on the third ball. He's attacking these first ball as hard as he can. Good example here of him. Good service, Xinhua.
18-16.
Tremendous forehand from Rosskopf. Excellent reactions from Xinhua.
Oh, yes.
16-19.
Yes, that lack of mobility is really showing there.
Full credit to Rosskopf here. He's actually exploiting the weakness. He's attacking hard on that first ball, keeping Xinhua guessing where it's going, forcing him to do the one thing he can't do at the moment, and that's twist his body.
16-20.
Game point. Third game. That's it. The third game goes to the West German, Jorg Rosskopf, and so he trails 1 game to 2 in this first of the men's
Chen
semi-finals.
leads by 2 games to 1.
The start of the fourth game.
Chen to serve.
With
Fourth game.
Chen Xinhua leading by
Love
2 games to 1, but the most important thing is he's lost the last game, and in the second game, when he was well in control of the match, he pulled a muscle in the lower part of his back, which has definitely affected his mobility. Alongside me is Don Parker, the England team manager. Don, it's transformed this game, hasn't it?
It certainly has. The way things are looking now, I don't think Xinhua's going to pull through. It's restricted his mobility. He's not attacking as well as he was in the game. He's not defending as well. It really has seriously affected his play.
Love 3.
There was a good example. Normally he would have dropped a yard back there, chopped that ball back. Instead he stayed at the table.
1-3.
Rosskopf has got to capitalise on the situation, move the ball around, keep Xinhua guessing where it's coming, force him to move, force him to move from side to side.
The German national champion in 1988.
5-1.
And the world doubles champion as well.
6-1.
Rosskopf playing exceptionally well there. He's tactically doing well. He's serving fairly short, hitting the next ball hard, forcing Xinhua away from the table. Xinhua's there, good
7-1.
example. Short serve, tremendous backhand topspin. Rosskopf renowned for his power on that third ball. Left-handed player, as we can see, but with good serves and strong attack on both wings.
8-1.
Yeah, good example again. He's looking to attack as hard as possible early in the rally, and Xinhua is certainly looking like a defeated player.
This is the man who put out Desmond Douglas in
2-8.
3 games.
10.
Be a great disappointment to the crowd. Xinhua's entertained quite superbly throughout the tournament.
3-8.
That's what happened in the first 2 games. He used his service, his excellent deception, makes it very difficult for the opponent to see the ball, shielding it with a free arm, as we see there, and then looking to attack as soon as possible. He's actually looking as though he's fighting again here, using his serve, looking to attack. Let's hope he can get back into the game.
5-8.
It's absolute transformation in the last 4 points. Suddenly he's got an opponent to play against.
6-8.
Excellent serving there. It's very similar action. One ball has got a lot of backspin on it. The next ball has got no spin on.
9-6 Rosskopf.
There's a key point, that. 9-6 to Rosskopf.
Bad mistake there by Xinhua, but at least it looks as though he's moving a lot better now.
10-7.
Trails does the West German by 2 games to 1. Best of 5.
Eleven, 8. Nine, 11, 10.
Bearing in mind that Xinhua was 8-2 down, he's now pulled it back to 9-11. He's got his service to come. Rosskopf's having lots of problems reading the spin. He's certainly well back in the game.
10-11.
You must wonder what's happened to his opponent. He had him on the ropes. In fact, he'd already taken 1 long count, 4-minute break between games, and here he is back playing beautifully.
10-12.
Just hit the side of the table. Well, suddenly this man's been transformed from looking an all-time loser early in the game. He's back in it with a bang.
11-13. Rosskopf.
That's the right tactics for Xinhua. He's actually going for his topspins when he can. He didn't do that for the first 10 points. He found himself 8-2 down, but at least tactically now he's playing better.
14-12.
There, we can see when he's defending, he's dropping away from the table now, giving himself a chance. First 10 points, he just stuck close to the table, wasn't moving at all.
Well, either the Chinese player's made a remarkable recovery, or he's just decided to ignore the injury. Like a miracle cure.
14-13.
There is no doubt that Rosskopf has great difficulty reading the spin. Chen Xinhua using his wrist, varying his point of contact on the ball, varying the spin. Rosskopf failing to read it.
15-13.
Consequently, Rosskopf's actually playing tactically well because he's trying to keep the rally short. He's trying to win the point very quickly, serving and hitting it as hard as he can at the first opportunity.
16-13.
Well, he's just 5 points away from levelling the semi-final at 2 games apiece. 16-13.
14-16, Chen.
I'm sure here Xinhua's going to use his serves. Keep it fairly short if he can. Force Rosskopf to push it and look to attack if he can.
15-16.
The service with no spin there. Rosskopf lifting it, thinking it had backspin on, but it didn't. The ball therefore going off the end of the table.
15.
Well, both players were lucky stroke unlucky there.
No. 15-18.
Now, two crucial points there going against Xinhua. That's the second time that Rosskopf's return of service has clipped the top of the net. Not having the best of fortune here, Xinhua.
19-16, Rosskopf.
Exceptional use of the wrist, fast accelerating bat, hitting underneath the ball, a lot of backspin. Rosskopf failing to lift it.
20-16.
So game point in this fourth game for 2-all, Rosskopf serving. That's
21-16.
it. 21-16 to the West German. So here we are at the start of the fifth and final game, of the very first as men's semi-final between Jorg Rosskopf of West Germany and on the far side of the table, Chen Xinhua, formerly of China, now of Huddersfield. Qualifies for England in May of this year by domicile. And you could look at the back of Xinhua when he goes away from the table. Underneath that black shirt of his, he's wearing a weightlifter's belt because in this third game, he had a muscle spasm in the lower part of his back, which has definitely restricted his mobility.
2-1.
Alongside me is Don Parker, the English team manager. Don, this is a real problem for this man, isn't it?
It is. I feel it's totally transformed the game. The first two games, Xinhua was totally in control. And he lost the mobility in his back. This affected his defence. He couldn't twist when he was away from the table. It also affected his attack. Basically, he won the first two games because he serves exceptionally well and he was attacking well. But of course, now with the injury, he's very hesitant when it comes to attacking.
2-3, Chen.
He won the first two games, 21-11, 21-15, and lost the last two, 16-21, 16-21.
3-all.
3-all anyway in the fifth and final game.
This is where he's at his best, when he's serving. Tremendous deception with his serves. He makes it difficult for Rosskopf to see the ball. He shields it with his free arm.
4-3.
Tremendous play there. Good service. Rosskopf not reading the spin, hesitant on the return. Xinhua in with his attack. It's looking as though the belt's doing the job. He's moving a lot better in this fifth game.
5-3.
Well, this has transformed his game because from a beaten man in the last game, certainly the early part, look at this, he's back with a tremendous forehand cross-court smash.
Xinhua looking to attack all the time. Good example here, serving. Rosskopf returns it, in fact, down the backhand, as we can see. Xinhua's round with his forehand. Good rotation of the body. Certainly the belt's doing the job. I thought it'd be quite the opposite. I thought the belt may restrict his movement.
6-4 to Xinhua. Almost a local boy living in Huddersfield, married to a Huddersfield girl.
4-7.
The world's doubles champion, Jorg Rosskopf, is finding life a little difficult in the fifth game.
5-7.
I think it's always difficult for a player when you're playing somebody who you know is carrying an injury. You know you've got to try and exploit it. It puts a little bit of pressure on you to do it. And so far, Rosskopf's struggling this game.
5-8.
Tremendous shot by Rosskopf there with the forehand, taking it very early off the bounce. Xinhua not having time to get down the backhand side.
Former world number 4, the Chinese player.
7-all.
Just a toucher. Rosskopf ranked number 5 for this tournament, 21 in the world.
8, 7, 10.
Xinhua, who was in the Chinese World Cup winning side of 1985. 29 years of age.
8, all.
Well, that was a fantastic return. They just didn't have the mobility to get back in time. Chen Xinhua, who beat Desmond Douglas in the 3rd round in 3 straight games.
Nine, 10. Change ends, please.
Xinhua certainly looking to attack after the service, but he's made a few mistakes in this set of 5.
Beat Saito, Japan in 4 games in the quarterfinal. And down the far end, Rosskopf beat Carl Preen in 5 last night in the quarterfinals.
Eleven, 9. Rosskopf.
Rosskopf will be looking here to follow his serves up with a strong topspin, to force Xinhua away from the table and to force him to defend.
12, 9.
That was a tremendous forehand by the West German.
It just shows how committed to attacking he is. Xinhua placed that wide down the backhand, but Rosskopf was across and attacked with his forehand.
13, 9.
Well, a really important part of this 5th and final game now. 4-point gap, 13-9 to the West German.
14, 9.
Rosskopf's tactics paying off here. He's serving, trying to attack as soon as he can with his first shot after the service, doing it very well.
14, 10.
If Xinhua can return that first strong topspin of Rosskopf, then he's in with a very good chance of winning the point. But of course Rosskopf doing his utmost to get in with that strong topspin.
Well, a smile, but I don't think he was too pleased with that. (15-10) to Rosskopf. But he's got this very tricky service of Chen Xinhua to face.
I'm sure here Xinhua's going to look to attack after the service.
11, 15.
Good chop service there, hitting underneath the ball, a lot of backspin. Previous serve was floated, no spin that is. Good variation in service.
12, 16.
Again, Xinhua should have won that point. He got the return he wanted. His attack just clipping the top of the net.
Tremendous return. That really was wonderful. One of the finest defensive players in the world.
Good defence here by Xinhua. And we can see Rosskopf playing down the backhand, and he hits a hard one down the middle. And Xinhua's reactions to recover there. Superb play by Xinhua.
16, 14.
4 out of the 5 points there on service, but now Xinhua's got his main problem. Keeping his return of service tight, stopping Rosskopf getting in with a strong topspin.
But the West German has the advantage of the serve. That terrific third ball attack, the serve, the return, and then bam. 17-14, 4 away from victory.
17-15.
I think Xinhua's got to be brave here. He's got to occasionally put the ball wide down Rosskopf's forehand. He's playing down the backhand. Rosskopf's anticipating that, running round, getting his forehand in. Got to move it around a little bit more. There we saw it. Xinhua returning the serve into the backhand. Rosskopf rounding with his forehand. I'm sure if he pushes wide to Rosskopf's forehand, it'll unsettle him.
Well, he needed that one. There's always a smile on his face, but you never know what he's saying to himself.
Definitely gives Xinhua a good chance now. Got his service to come. Remember, last time he won 4 points on service. It's not out of the question that he can win all 5. I'm sure he's going to be using his wrist, a lot of variation, and looking to attack on the 3rd ball. Rosskopf, of course, looking to make a positive return of serve, try and get in with his strong backhand and forehand topspin. Very interesting situation.
He's got a fairly haunted look about him as Rosskopf. As for a change, it's not the inscrutable Chinese. Chen Xinhua has been grinning and smiling right through the match, and that's one of the points.
The crowd getting behind Xinhua there. That was the backspin serve, hitting underneath the ball, fast accelerating wrist. A lot of spin on the ball. Rosskopf failing to lift the backspin. The next one, this one he could well give him the float service. No spin. Just wait and see.
Point.
Chen Xinhua renowned for this, turning defence into attack. There he is, away from the table, defending. Rosskopf, in he comes and attacks straight away. Superb play by Xinhua.
18-19.
So just 1 point in it. And they level for the first time since early in the game.
Float service there. No spin on the ball there. Rosskopf lifting it, and of course there was no spin to lift.
There's been a great psychological battle out there too between these two. Just off the edge. Was it? 20 just... Well, he thought it was a toucher. It is a toucher. Right on the very edge of the table. And he acknowledges his luck.
It's a real mental battle down there now. Rosskopf knows what's going to happen. He knows Xinhua's going to serve to his forehand. He's got to be brave and try and attack.
Oh, what a fantastic return. And even Chen Xinhua has got the guts and the sportsmanship, the smile and grin. And what a terrific shot that was.
Good service by Xinhua. He did the right thing. He attacked the service. Unbelievable reactions there from Rosskopf.
So it's deuce, 20 all in a 5th and final game, and it's the first one who wins 2 consecutive points, servicing, alternating between the players. As Rosskopf to serve, 20 all, 2 games all. Xinhua saving, or needing to win this to save not only the game but also the match. Terrific forehand down the backhand side. He hasn't really put much down the West German's backhand, but just have a look at this.
Very brave play from Xinhua here. Attack straight away, he's forced to defend. As soon as Rosskopf pushes, Xinhua in with his topspin. Very brave play, excellent play.
21 all. And that was world-class defensive play.
Superb defending by Xinhua. Rosskopf really hitting that ball hard. A lot of spin, a lot of speed. Xinhua absorbing that, defending exceptionally well. Xinhua must be the favourite now. He's got his service to come, a good serve,
22-21.
and I'm sure he'll be looking to attack behind the service.
And a back injury forgotten. Just needs one more point to go through to the final. And he has the advantage, as Don was saying, of this very, very difficult to read service. And he's done it! The service pulls him through. He wins the first, loses the next two, but comes back from injury to go through into the final. There's Chen Xinhua, formerly of China, now of Huddersfield, is through to the 1990 final. And the score, 21-11, 21-15, 16-21, 16-21, 23-21.
Well, as you might have noticed, Chen did have back trouble throughout that match, and unfortunately it's prevented him taking part in the final. The other semi-final was won by Yu, who beat Erik Lind of Sweden, as you can see there by that score. And so Yu walked over in the final. So unfortunately we don't have a men's final to bring you as planned this afternoon.